Microchip. I think we're all familiar with the word, but really, not very many of us know what it is or what it does. The fact is, there's at least one in most, if not all, of the electronic devices that we use every single day. From tools to ovens to microwaves to computers, these chips contain the information that allow these appliances to work. To find out more about this, we're at A&J Programming, a company that plays a huge part in the production of many of these products.
A&J programs electronic components. We put information into an electronic chip, and we mark them to show what information is in those, and we package them for final assembly at contract manufacturers and OEMs. Most of our customers are contract manufacturers. In this time of assembly operations or electronic manufacturing, most of the work is done by contract manufacturers. So if you bought a Sony television from Sony, Sony didn't build it. If you bought an iPhone from Apple, Apple didn't build it. So our customers, those people that are actually doing the work.
One of the things that kind of differentiates A&J Programming from the other people that are in his business is his model for the flow across the floor. And this was the way Jim set up his business a few years back, by being modular, buying equipment that is redundant, and having quality all throughout the process. A lot of companies like to buy the larger equipment from the larger manufacturers and have a higher, say, usage or throughput, be able to process more components through them. Jim takes a little simpler approach with simpler equipment in redundancy to match the bigger pieces of equipment. Not all customers or companies purchase redundant. A lot of companies like to buy the larger equipment from the larger manufacturers.
Who benefits from the services that you provide?
We purchase an inordinate amount of capital equipment, and in fact, in many cases, go to the manufacturers of the equipment and ask for special versions and new versions so that we can do a better, faster, and more efficient job for our customers. Our customers do buy some of the equipment that we get. Many of them are bigger companies than we are, so they're not as nimble or as fast as A&J.
A&J is the key supplier for us to manage all those processes that we require for the programming. They are really fast and reliable, and it's also very flexible. That's what NPI always requires suppliers to be, flexibility. When there's a file change at the last minute, they always can deliver in one day. And other company never can able to do that. They always have the up-to-date technology to resolve if there's any issue on files or any component issues. They're always willing to help us to resolve that issue to up-to-date technology, and they always update their machines to up-to-date technologies. I'm very happy with A&J.
Delivery is probably the most important thing to any of my customers. The programming codes that we put into chips are typically being written up to the last moment possible. The blank components are already in position and ready to go, and it's just the engineer, when he says he's finally done, we literally make codes usually the same day or the next day, and they're off being built into assemblies within a couple of days of the codes actually being released. I don't think I know what anything is other than an 80-hour week, and I think that's what our customers appreciate. We're here to offer our services essentially day and night.
With other companies, it's a long process, and we've pretty much eliminated anybody else we've worked with. And I've been with Creation Technologies for 5 years now, the last 3 years working specifically with Jim, and I haven't ever wanted to send my parts anywhere else. When you go out into their facility, they have a lot of stuff that's all going on. They got products that come from all over the world to be programmed, and he never loses my parts. Like, I can drop them off and pick them back up again, and I have the right program on them. They're labeled correctly. I've never had any parts in the last 3 years come back from A&J that were misprogrammed or mislabeled or have any problems at all. I mean, I'm able to get a lot programmed from him overnight, within sometimes under 24 hours, and it's completely reasonable. He'll tape and reel the product for me if I'm going to use it on my SMT machine to be able to load it in to be placed by a machine on the board. He has that all taken care of for me and ready to go so that I don't have to do it myself.
The technology that we deal with, or the components and the shapes and the sizes, change constantly. We're always buying new equipment. I have a fairly large line with the banks, and I use that all the time. And we put the money into the equipment. That's what keeps us the jobs. Often a job is worth $50 and we have $1,000 worth of tooling. And that's just part of the business, and we hope and expect that that tooling will be used for some other job, for some other customer. And instead of advertising, we buy the equipment. So somebody calls up and they ask for a job, and we can say, yes ma'am, yes sir, we can do it, and they're like, you have the job. The ability for us to deliver essentially any job in 2 days. I believe I can keep any production line anywhere in the world running if they give me a day to build a day's worth of product. Sometimes the customers are looking for 2 weeks in one day, and that doesn't always work out. If you give us a day, I think we can keep any production line running anywhere in the world for a day.
What we do is we try to get it in and built as quick as possible so that we can have the customer's product to the public so that they can purchase it. Now, what he does is he takes silicon chips and he programs them for us. We've used larger companies in the past, but nobody's ever really given us the service that we've gotten from Jim. He can do a quick turn when we need it. I try not to push that too much, but he's really on time, quick turnaround. Always, you know, the customers are very, very comfortable with what he does for them. And whenever there's a question, we have an agreement where he contacts the customer direct, and they're very, very satisfied, very happy with what Jim does for them.
One of these days, maybe one of those big guys are going to finally decide that we just kick them so hard when they go to get jobs that they're just going to have to buy us to get us. And then they'll get the service that we provide for their customers as well.
A&J Programming, a company that is truly doing it better, faster, and cheaper, right here in the good old US of A. I'm Larry Anderson, reporting from San Jose, California.